Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Art Whisperer 88. On your screen you'll see my sketch pad, and I did a quick doodle with my Sharpie pen of triangles, and I thought I'd play with these shapes as a departure from circles and squares, and I thought they might make a dynamic composition. Now I still have a few leftover pieces of cardstock, so I thought I'd make some triangles out of them. So what I do is just cut them into smaller squares, and then each square gets cut in half. Like so. Now it doesn't have to be exact, it doesn't have to be straight even. But I cut from corner to corner at a diagonal, and I get these pieces. And I thought they would be interesting interlocking to form a pattern. So that's my planned sketch. So anyway, let me show you what I came up with. So I used the remainder of my cardstock, and I have these in different sizes. They're not perfectly straight edges, but I think that makes them more interesting. But they all have three sides. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and ink the plate. I think in this case I will start with some lines with my Sharpie pen. The lines will be the first layer of images. So they all are at different angles. Trying to create something like a mathematical drawing. Without actually getting into mathematics. Because I remember in math class, it wasn't so much the math that was attractive to me. It was the graphic representations, like ellipses, circles, geometric shapes. Okay, so that's the first layer. And now I'm going to use unbleached titanium. Again, this is a brand new tube, so it has a protective foil. And by the way, before I did this off camera, I really cleaned the plate very well with some detergent and some warm water. And after that, I gave the plate kind of a spa treatment with baby oil. And I was amazed how much gunk came off. All the leftover paint and ink. And I think it's good to do that ever so often, depending on how often you use your plate. But think of it as maintenance to keep the plate in optimum operating condition. It does contain oil. I did research on the chemical composition of the gel plate. It does contain a certain percentage of oil. So ever so often it's good to replenish. Okay, so that is first coat of titanium, unbleached titanium. And I'm going to try my best not to do any scribbles on this because I want to present a different look. So I'm going to take my paper and after cleaning my plate and giving it a spot treatment, I recalibrated the registration just to make sure that it's in the middle, because it tends to drift away because it's flexible. So I took as accurate measurements as I could to find the center line. And then I made sure that the measurement on the left and the right are equal, more or less, to the, I'd say, to 1/4 of an inch. And also that's good to do if you are particular about centering the image on your paper. Especially when the paper is this big, I think it matters. It has a more professional look if it's centered. Okay, let me see what I got. I think it transferred very well. It's interesting, this unbleached titanium looks like cement. It's like a soft gray. There you go. So far I've had success with permanent markers. They do transfer well, and they haven't given me too many problems. it's the ghost prints that give me problems sometimes. They're very stubborn and they refuse to transfer. And I imagine it's the fault lies with me because I let it dry too much, and I should try to transfer the ghost print when it's still like maybe within half an hour, not wait too long. So anyway, this is the first layer, and I will air dry this, and I will show you how I'm going to compose the triangles on the plate. So don't go away. Okay, on to my next part of this project. I'm trying to be aware that the image I do on the right side will end up on the left. Just pressing these down so they stick to the plate. Okay. So the next color will have to be on the light side. Kind of like soft. So these will be 3 zones of color with going this way. Let me just make some room for the used stencils. I have to say the cardstock makes a very sharp stencil. The edges are very clean. Hopefully I don't miss any. I think I got them all. So here's the first pool with the Sharpie lines. gonna leave this for 5 more minutes. Okay. Pretty cool. Kind of like very architectural. I think I like the direction this is going, and in fact I may be able to use the stencils again with a different color. So I'm going to air dry this. And I'll be right back. Okay, I was able to reuse these because I worked fast enough that the cardstock wasn't totally messed up by the paint. So I hope I can get a second use out of this. And I'm using Blickcrylic raw sienna. Let me see if I can introduce some textures. Yeah, the limitation of cardstock, it does have a lifespan. Because once it gets soaked by the water from the paint, it just falls apart. Okay, so let's try a third pull. Here is the second layer. Let's do a third one. Maybe the benefit of the baby oil treatment is that the plate is not as sticky, and it makes releasing the paper a lot easier. I noticed that because the baby oil acts like a sort of lubricant, and the stickiness is not as aggressive. It's still sticky, but not like before. Okay, let's see what we got. Oops. Very interesting, huh? Very interesting. It almost begs for a fourth layer. Well, I'll decide when I air dry this and see what happens. Okay, I'm getting ready for the fourth pull, and I was able to get a lot of the leftover cardstock and distribute it across the plate. Since this is the last pull, I have some smaller pieces here, so the last pull is going to be a little more intricate. And I have here deep magenta, turquoise, vermilion, and phthalo blue. So there'll be different zones here. So I'm gonna start with the vermilion. Okay. And the deep magenta. Then it's turquoise. And finally, some phthalo blue. Okay, this is going to be very colorful for a final pull. So I'm going to use several of these guys. See if I can spread them as evenly as I can. Okay, now this is going to be a bit of a challenge because I want to make sure I don't forget any stencil. So and this final layer is a big contrast to the lighter first layers. So I find that the key to successful image is to have a bit of contrast for interest. Almost there. I think I got them all. Okay. Okay, so let me just refresh your memory. Here is the print with the 3 layers. So now I'm going to go with the 4th and last layer. And as usual, I mean, I do put a little bit of thought into the color choices, but the final result is always a surprise. Okay, let's see what we got. I think it's a very cool texture. Very, it really looks like a printed image. Check this out. I think this is very exciting. Now I'm not going to lay it on the plate underneath because it's very wet. But I'm pleasantly surprised by this. Because the first 3 layers were kind of dull and kind of pastel, but the last layer gives it some snap. Here's a close-up for the detail. And the change of shape is a nice variation. It's a welcome change to all the circles that you've been seeing. Because, you know, after a while the acetate, although it is reusable, it gets old. There are only so many combinations that you can make, and so I thought I would branch out and use different geometric shapes. So here's the final print, and I'm quite happy with it. I hope you like it too. Again, thank you so much for watching and subscribing and supporting my channel, and I hope to see you next time.